All right, I got a video coming for you that a lot of people have been asking for. I'm going to give you the real science behind drivers. Can I buy a golf game? Can I buy the latest, greatest driver, Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, PXG, whatever it is, $1,000 driver? I've seen drivers for as much as $3,000 or $4,000. Are they going to make me hit it 20, 30 yards longer? What about a shaft? I go out and spend $200, $300, $400, even $500, $1,000 on the golf shaft. Does it make it go straighter and 20 yards longer? Well, let's actually talk about the real facts here. So for the last 20 years, roughly, the driver manufacturers, at least the best ones, have been right at the legal limit of how hot a dead center hit can be. They do this by what's called characteristic time now. And what that means is, boiled down to keeping it very simple, if I hit it dead center on the sweet spot and I swing 100 miles an hour, this ball, limited by the USGA and the rules of golf, can only leave that face at a certain speed. They measure this with a characteristic time machine, or they used to use something called the coefficient of restitution. It's a bunch of big fancy ways of saying that whatever driver you use right now is pretty much right at the limit of how hot that ball can come off the face. And what that means is, if you hit a perfect drive, good square face, good angle of attack, good spin, good launch angle, all that, and you hit it right dead on the center of the sweet spot, every driver on the market that's by a reputable name brand manufacturer is going to go virtually the same distance. So if everything else is the same, you hit them on the sweet spot, they're going to go roughly the same. Now, when these drivers are manufactured, there's going to be differences in every single head. These are made with real metal, with real machines, and every time you do that, they're slightly different every single time. What happens is, let's imagine the limit is here. Manufacturers design the club head to be just under that limit. And there'll be a tolerance there to where all the drivers fit within their legal limit. They don't want a driver that comes out a little too hot and then they have a recall and they have to take back all these heads and remanufacture them. It's a total pain in the butt, right? So they want drivers that are right around here. If you find a really hot driver that's right here, maybe it goes 3 yards farther than the one that's just the normal one. If you find a really dead driver, maybe it goes 3 yards shorter. We're not talking 20, 30 yards. We're talking maybe 5 yards difference between a hot driver and a not so hot driver. They're really very, very consistent. Nothing's going to take it from 220 to 240 off the head. Now that's dead center, sweet spot, perfect hit shots. I hit about 2 of those a year, right? Every single shot that I hit is somewhat of a miss hit. Even one dimple width off the sweet spot can be several yards shorter and several yards offline. So that brings me to the next thing, which is called moment of inertia. And that just means how well perimeter weighted are these drivers manufactured. So when you hit one off the toe, what happens is the club face actually twists quite a bit as it contacts the ball because of the weight of the ball. Twist the face open like this. If you hit off the heel, it twists it closed like that. That makes you lose distance. It also makes the ball curve offline. So what drivers have done over the last 20 years or so, they've gotten about twice more forgiving. From my personal experience, what I've heard, this is the rumors that I've heard, I have no real data to back this up. I've heard that Ping, Titleist is another one at the top, I've even heard PXG is at the top. They're right at the limits of what a driver can legally be at from moment of inertia or how much it can twist from heel to toe. What that means is if you took a driver from 20 years ago and you hit it 1 inch off the toe, it might be 25 yards shorter, and because it hit off the toe it would have hooked, it'd be 25 yards to the left. So 25 yards short, 25 yards to the left. I'm simplifying things here, but you'll get what I'm saying. Brand new 20-year, we're taking a 20-year-old driver versus a brand new, right off the shelf, best driver, highest moment of inertia you can get, Ping G425. You hit it off the 1 inch off the toe again. Instead of being 25 yards short and offline, now it's twice as forgiving, twice as high MOI. It's only 12.5 yards short, 12.5 yards offline. Now that's very simplified, but roughly that's a good number to go with. If you're buying a driver that's brand new versus a driver 20 years old, they're going to go about 12 yards longer and 12 yards more offline off a significant miss hit. It's going to change every bit that you miss, and everywhere on the face is going to miss hit a different amount. So I'm really oversimplifying there. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're going out to buy a brand new driver that's 1 year newer, it's probably 1 yard longer at the best, 1 yard straighter at the best. You're not going to get 20 or 30 more yards with a brand new driver. You do get some yards though, And if you want to play your best, go with a good quality manufacturer, whichever one you go with. So driver head forgiveness, definitely a lot better. Ping, from what I've heard, Ping, Titleist, PXG, all do a really good job with that. Another thing is the manufacturing tolerances. What they've done is they've been able to make these metals thinner and more durable every single year, which allows them to pull the weight to the sides. And Ping, where they're leading the charge from what I've heard, is mishits from top to bottom. They've kind of maxed out, or drivers are getting close to maxing out heel to toe. Now they're maxing out top to bottom. So if you hit one a little thin or a little high on the face, they're working on trying to get to the legal limit of that also, which from my understanding, no one's there yet to where any driver is fully maxed out to where you can hit it anywhere on the face and it would kind of be at that legal limit of the MOI. So we know now, if we buy a brand new driver head, it will go farther, it will go straighter, but it depends on how old of a driver head you're replacing, and it really says not any of them are going to go 20 or 30 yards farther than the model year before. Let's go to the shaft now. What the heck does this shaft do? A $1,000 shaft versus a $10 shaft, a $30 shaft, whatever it is, there's not a huge amount of difference in these also. It's not the engine. You swinging is the engine. It's not going to get you 20 or 30 extra yards. Basically what's happening when you swing a golf club, you go into what's called lag deflection, meaning that the club lags behind. The shaft actually bends this way, or if I kind of bend it like that, you can see it. And then as you hit the ball, it goes into lead deflection. The shaft kicks forward and it bends actually where the club head is in front of the hands going the other way. The looser the shaft, the whippier the shaft, the more lag and lead deflection it gets in. It also twists more open and closed, which is called the torque of the shaft. So it rotates this way and that way. The whippier the shaft, if you're using a senior flex, a ladies flex, you're going to get more of that action in all directions. If you use an extra stiff, a crazy stiff shaft, stiffer tipped, all these different things, you're basically getting less of that lead and lag deflection. That doesn't necessarily mean that that driver is going to be more inconsistent when it gets more of that whip through there. It's all about getting a driver that's fit to your game. So long story short, the shaft isn't going to get you 20 or 30 extra yards. The head isn't going to get you 20 or 30 extra yards. Really, the only way that you could possibly get 20 or 30 extra yards going from one driver to a brand new driver is if you get fit and the driver you're using right now is wildly unfit for your game. So maybe, for example, you launch the ball too low with way too much backspin and you're losing 20 or 30 yards from the way this ball is launching and how much it spins. What you could do is get fit for a brand new club. They could put a shaft that's more fitted for you. They could get a loft of the head that's more fitted for you. They can move the weighting in the head to be more fitted for you. And with those things happening, it is technically possible that you could maybe hit the ball 20 or 30 yards because you're delivering the head better into the golf ball. So long story short, the head itself isn't magic. There's no magic 30-yard longer head. The shaft isn't magic. There's no longer one than that. If as long as you're fit with a good quality manufacturer head, a good quality fitting that fits your game, you're going to be in the ballpark of about as well as you can do. If you like to have the latest and greatest, by all means, go out there and spend $700, $1,000, spend $2,000 on a driver. If you want to, I guarantee you can find one that does that. But if you just want to play your best, make sure the driver's fit to you and it's from a reputable brand. Ping, Titleist, TaylorMade, PXG, Cobra, Callaway, any of those. They're all great. They all make great clubs. I prefer Ping. I think they make the best. I think they have the most consistent clubs, but that's just my preference. Now let's get to what really matters. There's only one thing that really matters. You take a good player. You take Tiger Woods in his prime, and you give him a ladies flex, wooden driver head. He's going to be able to outdrive basically everybody that plays at your club. He's going to be more consistent, even using the worst technology. So what's going to get you the best results is having the best swing. And one thing that I found that changes more people's games than anything is this idea that we have to roll the arms or release the arms by folding them over each other to square up the face. When people do that, what I've found is most players are going to stand up out of their posture, they're going to come in steep, and they're going to try to throw the club at the golf ball to get distance. Not only is that going to kill your swing speed and your consistency, it's also going to deliver the club head with less than ideal impact characteristics, which means you're going to get too much spin, you're going to lose a bunch of distance, all that kind of stuff. Well, what I recommend you do to fix that is something I call the anti-roll method. I'm going to teach you how the pros release this club. So now, as you come into contact, you get lag. You're from the inside. You have this big angle of lag in the downswing, and you can release this club, but look at my arms. My forearms haven't rolled over each other. My right arm is actually below my left arm. I'm in my posture as I'm hitting the shot. That's what the pros are doing, and that's what I want to teach you how to do it. Once I teach you the anti-roll method, it's going to be like a light bulb goes off. You're going to be playing your best golf. So all you need to do is go ahead, click one of the buttons that pops up on your screen. It's called an iCard. You'll see it somewhere on your screen right now. If you don't see one of those cards, don't worry. Just go to the description below, click the link down there, and you'll get instant access to this anti-roll method video. I can't wait to share it with you. Let's go and get started. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strikes. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,